you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. The sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Hey everyone, time for Puzzle Talk, the geocaching puzzle podcast brought to you by the Geocache Talk Network. And here are your hosts from the Northwest, Charles Watkins and Tom Brotherman. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, and howdy from Seattle.
Hello. Glad you're here. And we have a guest with us as well.
Who's also in Seattle.
She's also in Seattle. So let's just dive right into the news.
What do we got for news, Charles?
Cue the
There's what I was waiting for. All right, so the Sharp puzzle has been made public and shared. If you haven't seen it, it is in the show notes from last month's show. It is also going to be in the show notes from tonight. It is also posted on our Puzzle Talk podcast Instagram page. So if you have an Instagram page and you don't follow us, head on over there and you can get a copy of the puzzle. If you are think you're getting close or want to check on what you're doing, you can always send us a email to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll help you verify if you're going down the right rabbit hole or not. So if I just deleted a big giant paragraph out of my show note, by God,
it was about the getting ready for the to find a cache, and we already found a cache. So,
well, that was about the results for the.
Oh, did you? Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, so yesterday,
I don't think the results are in yet, though.
They're not going to be yet.
Right.
I got you. Geocaching headquarters yesterday attempted to break the world record for the most geocachers to log a find on yesterday, which was International Geocaching Day. Official results will be known on Wednesday per the blog that we've been following. The record was set on August 11th, 2013, which was not International Geocaching Day that year, which was August 17th. So this has been a long-standing record. They're trying to break it. That year, 2013, we had 126,833 cachers log a found log or a attended on an event. According to the blog post at about 5:30 p.m. last night, Seattle time, we had roughly 101,551 total found it / attended logs that had been posted. They said they've got to do some number crunching for people who only found an Adventure Lab stage. So official results will be out Wednesday. If for some reason we do happen to break that record, they will retroactively award everybody who posted a attended or found log or logged a stage of an Adventure Lab, that you will get a retroactive souvenir in your profile. So
very cool.
There we go.
Yeah, I was wondering too, what was happening, and Eminem from M mentioned that that was during the 31 days of geocaching, which I do recall, but I don't know why why August 11th? Who knows, right? But
It wasn't hot that day.
Yeah, who knows?
maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway,
yeah, it's interesting. I haven't done a whole lot of digging in it, but it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out, and we'll see on Wednesday how we tallied this year. So,
yep, very cool.
Just
And we
in
have
case HQ is listening, nobody in the South wants the 31 days of August thing to ever come back.
to ever come back. Yeah, that's sort of a rough time in Texas, but
Anywhere in the South.
Yeah, really all the South. So, all right. Well, we've got a special guest with us, Dee, and Dee has some juicy information about an upcoming event.
Yeah, so here it is. If you haven't heard about GeoCoin Fest, GC9FHYJ, it's taking place in San Antonio, Texas. It's October 8th of this year. The events start on Wednesday, and of course we'll go through Sunday, including some special things like a flash mob at the Alamo, of course the main event with the Geo Poker game that night, and then we also will be having a community event, a CCE in honor of JMCZ. If you're a Jeep collector, you know that he had he was working to try to get some of the Jeeps back out. Well, when he passed away, his collection went to Dale and Barb with Space Coast, and they're going to bring it to the event, and we're going to have a CCE, and we're going to release all of those Jeeps back into the wild. Cool. We'll also have a bunch of his travel bugs and coins for people to discover, and then again take and release out into the world in memory of Jerry. So we're super excited about that stuff going on. If you're a Jeep person, Charles, try to make it, even if it's just for that. But we've got a lot of cool stuff. Our team's been working really hard to come up with some innovative coins for the event. We've been releasing it on the GeoCoin Fest Facebook page, but our kind of creme de la creme, I don't know if I can get Mr. Ray to come over. He's in the room with me. Is in our Friends of GeoCoin Fest package, we will have a 3D light up sugar skull coin.
Very cool.
And Ray has been working diligently to figure out how to make those eyes glow for us, and we're super excited about that. So I would encourage everybody and anybody that wants to, thinks they might to check out our webpage, which is geocoinfest2022.com. Look at the packages, check it out. There's a list of all the events we've got going on. We're going to be hanging out at Chicken and a Pickle, which is a pickleball / brewery. Of course, the Alamo. We'll be doing some Riverwalk stuff, and just some really cool places to hang out while we're down there. Yes, thank you. But yeah, so we encourage anybody that wants to come down and check it out. San Antonio is a cool area if you haven't been down there. There's some really cool caches down there, lots of virtuals, great caching down in San Antonio.
Yeah, there's a lot of great caches down there. Oh, the GC, yeah.
Move it over a little bit. All right. So since you did the one at Woodstock, I'm doing this one. GC9 fiery hot yummy jalapenos.
That works perfect. Yeah, cool.
So we encourage anybody to come down, and then as an added kind of bonus to it all, Tom will be there. I'm still trying to work on Charles, but we're also bringing Chad out. So from Geocache, and he's going to be doing a little mini Gadget Academy with folks and talking with folks and bringing out the same system that we had at Cache Fest, where you can scan your card if you're a VIP and win prizes. We've got some hard to obtain coins, some path tags, things like that, as well as containers. So we're super excited about it. We're like less than 6 weeks away. So we encourage folks to check it out and come see and come play with us and collect some super cool coins.
I'm
sorry. And I forgot, Derek will also be there. Yes, Derek will be there. So we'll have a lot of the GTN network guys there.
I think I'll be there too.
Look
And
at,
hey-
we're gonna have all the GTN guys there, except for Emily and Jeff, right?
Maybe.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I guarantee this. So nobody's coming to my garage.
Oh, come on.
Maybe we'll be at Julia's.
Yeah,
You can
really.
get in, Julia's. You can't even hardly crawl through mine.
So, so real quick, I got the I got a room using on the click. Is there still host hotel room available?
There is still host hotel rooms left for 2 more weeks. They're $105 a night, which is a great price in the San Antonio area. It's at a Doubletree by Hilton, which means when you check in, they give you a warm chocolate chip cookie, which is always a bonus. And the event is literally like right across the highway, so it's super close.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that is a great.
And the other thing I didn't talk about is part of CoinFest is the GeoCoin Challenge. So there will be an adventure lab, and if you complete that adventure lab and you're one of the first 100 to complete it and bring your completed thing the morning of the event, you get a free GeoCoin. So I mean, you get a GeoCoin if you just for coming and playing. So
that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it.
We are too.
Yep, awesome. Well, thanks, Dee. Appreciate you coming
guys.
on.
Tom, we'll see you at dinner later.
Yep.
Bye, Charles. Love y'all.
Bye, Dee.
Yeah.
I hope I don't fall asleep during dinner. I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's been a long week and a half.
Yeah, really. You've been up there a long time. Charles has been up there for
it'll be a week total for so
right. That's cool.
I wish somebody had put an adventure lab out for the riding the ferries, because I would have gotten that.
Oh, that'd been cool.
I think we probably rode 5 different ferries up here.
Dang.
Yeah.
I've been on one before out there.
One to Victoria, one to Port Angeles.
Yeah.
We did the other cut across because we didn't want to.
Olympia National Park is out there that you can take a ferry out to.
Yeah.
Cool.
We did it.
All right.
We either did 4 or 5 of them, but my gosh, but it was so cool.
Nice. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for being on tonight, even though you guys are in hotel rooms and such, but we're making it work. We're making it work. So
absolutely.
So Charles, tell us about tonight. What are we doing?
So tonight is all about the Bacon cipher, Baconian cipher.
Bacon.
That's right. It is it is a real cipher. But it is a form of steganography, which means to conceal a message within another. So we did a whole show at the very beginning of Puzzle Talk when we first started about whether it's a code or a cipher. Right. And Bacon falls in one of those. And it is a real cipher because it affects the message on an individual letter basis. And remember that codes generally affect a word as a whole, whereas like the code word for the president is the eagle and things like that. So this is a real cipher. And the fun part about this is that there are 2 different versions of a Bacon cipher. There's one where it doubles up the I and the J, and it doubles up the U and the V. And then there's another version that has a full 26-letter English alphabet. So there is, a little variation in there, which depending on which checker you use, can throw you off a little bit. But tonight is Bacon, and in doing a little searching for this, I found there are a ton of ways to try and hide this so that it doesn't look like it's a Bacon cipher, because normally Bacon ciphers are fairly easy to distinguish once you look at them. But we'll see. People are getting tricky. I've got at least one cache example that I found that we're going to look at tonight, but tonight's all about the bacon. So
this is a very funny one too, because it's bacon, but yet it's bacon. It's Francis Bacon is the cipher
right.
Writer or the author back in the day, but the one I think we're going to look at, I've got a picture of it, by the way, too, Charles, if that'll help too. I got the just let me know when you're going to show it. Okay.
Yeah, pull that picture up. This was a picture that was at a event that I didn't get to go to. My wife went to it, and the cache host for the event had a bunch of puzzles that he had a puzzle section to his event, and that you had to solve the puzzles and then get stamps on a card around this park that he had done. But this is a cool bacon cipher because it's pictures of slices of bacon,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how it is, trying to get it just a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So
not as big as I can get it.
It's a really cool idea. Somewhere there is a website that will encode a bacon cipher in slices of bacon like this. I haven't found it yet, but there is something there. A couple of things that really make a bacon cipher stand out, besides the fact that this one is slices of bacon, is that each letter is differentiated into a group of 5. So, and they're normally just shown as A's or B's, but you can also get it in binary where it's 0s and 1s.
Right.
But however you want to do that, it's each letter breaks down into 5 A's, B's, or combination of the 2. And it's usually pretty easy to distinguish. But when you look at this page that he has, there are 12 characters across the top.
Oh,
so he either breaks it down, and I haven't solved this because I was out of town working during this event and then got on a plane and flew to Seattle.
Right.
So I haven't broke this down, but if you look from top to bottom, there are 10 slices of bacon in each row from top to bottom. So it may be that the 5 in the top are the north coordinates and the set on the bottom is the west coordinates.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure how it's broken down. I haven't solved this one yet, but it was a neat twist on that, because when you got it, you were like, wait a second. Is this what it is? This is bacon. So he gave you the hint right there, exactly what you needed to do to solve it. Right. I just don't know. I just haven't sat down and actually solved this one yet. He gave a packet of puzzles out at his event, and I want to go through them and solve them. But this was one that I thought was just perfect for tonight's show, since it was like just slices of bacon on a piece of paper.
Yeah, and I know people won't be able to read from here, but it says puzzle number 6, decode the information on this page to reveal the coordinates, and he gives you partial coordinates. And then he says, this is the part I'm wondering what you guys think he's referring to in this puzzle. He says, depending on your tools, you may need to consider flipping your bacon so it doesn't burn. And then he says also U equals V. So when he says, do you think that there's separate tools? I mean, there's obviously separate tools. We know that, but what do you think he's referring to when he says that you have to flip the bacon?
Tom?
Do you guys
Rot
think?
13 kind of thing.
Possible?
So tonight's tools that we have, we have a lot in the tools. There's a Wikipedia page, which I always hate Wikipedia, but it's a good it gives you some good history and then gives you a breakdown of stuff. There's a geeksforgeeks.org. There's a crypti.com, decode.fr/bacon cipher, cachesleuth.com/bacon, and then there's a boxandtrick.com/code breaking/bacon Baconian cipher. And if you look at the Box and Trick website, it gives it where you can go in and flip your A's and B's, right? So if you went in and write A, and that didn't come up with a letter, you could flip it, and it has a tool in there where it'll flip your A's and B's or your ones and zeros. So if you don't get them in the right order, if you decoded his bacon, either the 2 slices or the pile of bacon, incorrectly and assigned it A's instead of B's, one of these tools has a tool that will flip your A's and B's so that it will then decode correctly. And I think that's what he was talking about flipping it so your bacon doesn't burn, is that you could interpret his puzzle incorrectly as the A's or B's and the B's were A's. And I think that's what he was talking about. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain, because there's several of these tools will give it to where you can flip the A's and B's. And I think the Box and Trick one was one that did that, where you could do that. You can see there that they have a 24 or a 26 letter version.
26, which is cool. He obviously used a 24 because he says U equals V, which we know from the bacon cipher. That's U equals V, and what's the other one? Is I equals J.
I and J. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of cool though, but he's got a way to flip them too. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
One of these had that.
I like the Crypti, or that one you mentioned there, Charles. I'm actually kind of liking that website.
It's got a lot of useful tools that we haven't discussed in other shows yet, but it's it has a lot more uses than just this one bacon cipher. But it was one that popped up and was very, at the top of the list for some of this stuff. But it's got a lot of help for solving some of these. So it's a lot of tools, and just like everything, you got to know, it's the bigger your tool bag is, the more prepared you are for solving some of these, and like Tom always says, the Google is your friend.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's I like that site. I'll put it in the as we're talking, I'll put it in the
in the chat room.
I'll put it in the chat. Just the Crypti. I don't know why. I used it the other day. I did in town. I did a couple puzzles, and all I know is, I don't know about y'all's where y'all live, but I need to have an event periodically in my town on how to do puzzles, because I did a very simple one, and I sent y'all a copy of it. It's, again, it wasn't that hard. It just had to you had to just read the description real carefully. You could see what I was, you can see it's a Caesar cipher. I mean, but I kind of hidden. I don't tell you it's a Caesar cipher, and that cache has, I have to go look, but it has almost 200. I put a certitude on it. It's got has about 200 to 300 misses, and 5 people have solved it, and 250 or whatever haven't. So some people are just obviously flailing away. I don't know how many times you get on certitude. Is it is it 9 or 8 or
It's
how many?
it's 10 if you log in.
If you log in.
If you log in. If you don't, then it's 3. You get 3 tries and then it locks you out for whatever it is,
Right.
10 minutes or so.
Well, I have a lot of people
what I was talking about,
yeah, go ahead.
what I was talking about flipping those is on the Cache Sleuth website. So let me share that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Quick.
Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah.
Where did it go? There we go. So in here you can see where you can swap A and B, or you can swap your ones and zeros. And then you can swap your A's for zeros and B's for ones. So the Cache Sleuth tool is the one that has the deal where you can flip your A's and B's, or your ones and zeros, because if you have them in the wrong order, then you get Klingon on the backside, and you won't know it until you flip your bacon. So
awesome. Yeah, I'm putting Cache Sleuth the link in the show notes as well, because love Cache Sleuth. I mean, I'm Cache Sleuth is we know the person that runs that website, and they do such a great job. There's so many tools in Cache Sleuth. It's unbelievable. And if you find something, you can contact him, and you can say, hey, because we found the one that was the doctor's scribbles, and somebody had come up with an alphabet for the doctor's scribbles, and he goes, I could put that on the website. Like, oh yeah, sweet, that'd be awesome. So he's very receptive to helping or answering questions or anything. So
and then who put the YouTube video in the tool section? Was that you, Tom?
Yeah, I did. I threw that in there.
Oh, it was Gary. Okay. Yeah. No, that's super helpful. So if you get in and don't have a clue about what we're talking about here, go and watch that YouTube video, because it will explain everything. And if you're new to solving some of this stuff, check that out. And it will hopefully help make things clear if some of the stuff that we're saying in the show tonight, you're just drawing a blank on. So
yeah, I agree. It's short. It's about 4 minutes long, but he gets right to the point, shows you the thing. So I agree. I think that's a good one that they, the person did. Very straightforward, which I like sometimes. So, the, again, this one's a little bit, it can be figured out, obviously, like you said, Charles, but it's a little bit different, because you have to kind of determine what's going on, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know the orientation, which kind of, I mean, I don't think you could do it across or do it diagonally. I mean, obviously it's probably vertical or horizontal. So
yeah.
probably.
And Tom's probably done more of these than I have. I'm not the, I sent him something one time and said, hey, look at this. And I mean, before he probably had the page all the way open and scrolling, he just we were on the phone when he was looking at it. He's like, well, that's a bacon cipher. And I was like, how? And he was like, oh, no, So Tom's way better at identifying some of this stuff, like, when you look at it, than I am. And so it's kind of fun. But doing some research for tonight's show, I found a lot of different ways to cloak the A's and B's or ones and zeros, right, so that at least at first glance, you don't realize what you're looking at until you're like, oh, it's that.
Right.
Because the one cache page that I pulled up, I wouldn't have even thought of how they did it until they explained how they did it later down in the cache page. Which that puzzle is a good one to start with if you're trying to solve puzzles, and that cache owner has a series, so you can go and look at their cache placements and find the series of stuff that they've done.
Very cool.
So one of the ways that I found in doing all of this is that, and this is the one that really threw me when I was looking at it. It'll just be a normal paragraph, written out, but they'll use two different font types in it. And so the one font type is the A's, the other font type is the B's.
Right.
But they have it hidden in just a page out of a paragraph out of a Shakespeare play, right?
Right.
If you bring up the last one on the list, that's like that.
Okay, so let's do that, because this is one that I found that I was like, no, was super sneaky. So let me get that, and and this one's been archived, so good. These are great ones to share. So
I'll put it in the chat room too. The last one you guys were talking about.
Yeah, it's called
30 D98. Yeah.
Yeah, D98. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I was going to put it in the chat room so we had it so they can play along at home. Very cool.
So this one,
mm-hmm.
when you get down here and look at it, they have some italicized and bold letters and some that are not bold and italicized. And so this is that you just have to count every 5 characters. And so it makes it super difficult. But one of the pages that I was looking at, and we'll see if this is how Tom does some of it, but they said they open a notepad, and then they just go through and they'll have, one finger hits A's and one finger hits B's, and they'll just count them out and go A, B, A, space.
Smart. Yeah.
A, B, B, A, B, space. And they just kind of go through and read it, and they don't read it for what it is, right? So this is just a regular paragraph, but they read it for the 2 different font types. And if you get the font types really close, you can really put a hurting on some people who, aren't
awesome.
sure what to expect. But Tom, is this one that you have solved and found before?
It is one I solved and found, and let's see, I found it in 2016. So this would have been, it's in Colorado. So I did this for Jesse's Woodstock.
Oh yeah, 14er. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I mean that is so clever. I mean that's a great idea. Really.
This was right outside of Colorado Springs. So yeah.
Yeah,
and so this is one of those that I would have called Tom and said, Tom,
what the heck?
What am I missing? And he would have just probably giggled at me and said, that's a bacon cipher, guy.
Bacon.
Oh. Well, this one he tells you what it is. But
right in the cache title.
Well, even farther down in the description, he talks about Francis Bacon, and he talks about in Bacon cipher 2 different typefaces are used to send encrypted messages. So
sure,
that's enough to get you started. You still got to do the work.
Yeah.
Is Geochecker still around? Oh, it is. Okay. What's the one that's gone? Is it Geocheck? One of them's gone. Geochecker's still around.
Geocheck. There are a couple of them. We'll have to go back and rewatch the video we made for checkers.
Yeah, one got hacked, I know. So, but yeah, Geochecker's still around. I just pulled it up just to see if it would. It's still out there. Just out of curiosity. So very cool.
Yeah. So this was one of the ones that was done with the 2 different font types. And so the other one that I found was very similar to this, that it was the same just paragraph written out like that, but they used capital letters and lowercase letters as your A's and B's.
Okay.
And so that one, not knowing whether it is a, if all of a sudden you had just like random capital letters throughout the words and they were at random, you may not understand what that all is.
Yeah. I remember
Let's
looking
see.
at this one before. You got the one that says "I love bacon."
Yeah, so I've got it pulled up. Let me share that one because that's the exactly what we're talking about here, with the capital letters. So
I just put in the chat room so people can play along at home too. But
absolutely,
it's great. Bacon.
So
bacon.
Let's see it, and this one's been archived as well. And so for our audio listeners, it's GC34BEB. So it has bacon just written a whole lot, and some letters are capital and some letters are lowercase.
Bacon. Yeah, clever. And it says bacon ciphers. Like, yeah, I think you got it. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Solving one of these will make you hungry.
It will. That's what they were saying in the chat room.
Yeah, definitely time to go get a BLT after this for dinner.
Oh boy, Electric Water Boy found it. What a shock. What are you doing in Victoria?
This is the Victoria that's in Texas.
Yeah.
It probably the Texas County Challenge.
Oh. Well, it was 2019.
Oh, well.
But I was in the other Victoria last week.
You were. The British Columbia version.
The British Columbia one.
Yep. You're right.
So this is the other way. So you got the two different fonts, and then you have capital letters and lowercase letters. And the third one that I found, kind of it does something slightly different. It has a section of it has multiple choice, but the other part of the cache page is done really well. And so for our audio listeners, it's GC83 T as in terrain 26.
Cool.
And let me share that for our live viewers.
Yep.
And this is the one that I found that I said would be really easy for people who are just now, if you've never attempted one of these, this is a good one to jump in on. And so what you have here is kind of a history section up here at the top that tells you about how this cipher was done and what it is and whatnot. But what do you notice about this, Tom?
Right off the bat, I noticed different colors.
Different colors in there. I think it's funny that somewhere in there's a bacon cipher, but yet the description is the history of the bacon cipher, and then he gives you a quiz about the bacon cipher, which I think is kind of funny.
Right. So at the bottom is your multiple choice that he gives you to solve for the west coordinates. Now, down here at the bottom, if you struggled with this up here, with this section that's got the colored letters in it, he explains that down here further. And that's what I like about this series that he has, is that he'll give it to you, but he's going to give you all of the breadcrumbs you need to get from A to B. And so he says, I like this, the beyond a nudge, right? So,
I like that.
So here's the beyond let me hand it to you on a paper plate.
Right.
So getting the A's and the B's, and he has a section down here that goes through this, but
Oh.
essentially what he's done is he says you're looking at a group of 5 letters that make the bacon cipher into letters. He gives you a chart to see what the letters are, but what he did here is he said, let's see, where's he? Oh, the additional beyond a nudge. There are 3 paragraphs with rainbow colors in them mixed between the black letters.
Right.
Use a notepad to type an A where you see a black letter and a B where you see the colored letters. And that will give you the A's and B's into your decoder. So for this, up here, when you get back to the top, the black letters in these paragraphs are the A's, and the colored letters are the B's. But you wouldn't necessarily, because the colors are random, there's a brown letter and a blue letter and a tan letter and a red letter and a green letter, right? They're just at random colors. There's nothing that tells you that it's a pattern except that it's not black, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I had quite seen one done like this, which is why I pulled this one particularly. But also because the whole point of our show here is giving you the tools, tips, and tricks to solve these puzzles and then potentially put them out in the wild near where you live if you want to put a new puzzle out, that this broke it down.
Yep.
Uh-oh, we're losing him.
Broke up a little bit. That's
Like
okay.
Barney Fife style. Tom, have you found one like this that uses colors instead of
not that I know of.
Yeah.
I like it. The colors are kind of like a red herring almost, but not really, because they got to give you, like you said, you kind of, if you know what bacon ciphers are, you can kind of maybe, but it will throw you for a loop because you're like, wait, there's more than 3 items going on here. I get, like you said, you got different colors, so you're like, I got like 4 different versions of stuff going on. That's not a bacon cipher, but it is.
Yeah. I liked it. I didn't think that I had, and I went back through my finds trying to find something like this.
Right.
And I don't think I found it where they use the colors versus a black letter as the A's and B's. And I'm sure if you pulled this up and looked at the HTML on it, the HTML is just crazy because it has to start a font for one letter and then in that, or start a color for one letter and then in the color and then start it for another one. So the HTML is all over the place.
Wow.
So if if you're one of those people that goes in to look at the page source to try and solve some of these puzzles,
right,
this one would way mess you up just because of all of the HTML that goes into making letters different colors.
Right. Yeah, I love it. That's very slick. I like Forza Awakens had one too that I liked, was a bacon cipher where the A's and B's are lettuce leaves and tomato slices. Like a BLT sandwich. I love that. Yeah, you could get really clever. You could get either ultra difficult. I can see where that could come in, or you can make it ultra complex, possibly, where because again, we've talked about before where you could take and make a bacon cipher, but the solution to it are things like it spells out dots and dashes. So you could layer, very going caching like you could layer things together. So
don't put an onion on your BLT.
Don't put an onion. Layers. That's funny. BLT, BLO bolt, a bacon, onion, lettuce, tomato. There you go.
Oh,
now we're talking. Now we're making a sandwich here.
Man.
No interest. Okay. Y'all are probably hungry. Y'all go eat.
I'm starving. This show's going to end in an hour because I'm going to eat.
Well, we're going to end quicker than that, but yeah.
But I was going to say, you know, with what we've had tonight, you've got from the easy obvious where, you know, the one with pictures of bacon and the one where it just use the word bacon. Those are pretty big clues that it's a bacon cipher.
Sure.
The one with just the paragraph and stuff, you know, even though if he hadn't told you that's a bacon cipher,
right,
you can write a paragraph about anything, you know. Get your kid to write something up and then just change that into the, you know, change the fonts in it and you have a bacon cipher.
Right. And if you don't tell anybody, then you can kind of make it even a little more. I mean, it makes it even trickier, but yeah. KC11 says we need to have cheese on there too. I don't know about that. I love cheese. I don't know what you would do with a bacon, onion,
you tell
cheese,
a real
lettuce,
cheese
tomato.
Just tell a real cheesy story.
Oh, now you're talking. And then
did you see that? Yeah, that one.
The bolt.
Yeah.
The bacon, onion, lettuce, tomato, and the final is a magnetic bolt.
Love it. It's awesome. Yeah, clever.
I like it when a cache carries a theme all the way through the end.
Oh man, absolutely. I agree with you completely.
What if you could hide the final out right outside a pig farm?
Even better. Yeah.
You just hope that you're like upwind of that place.
Yeah,
ain't that the truth?
I've been by a pig farm. Those stink they stink.
But that's so very true though. If you can carry a theme, I mean, there was one, I think Julia did it, or it was down in, again, so it's weird. It was down in Victoria, Texas. I was doing the Texas Challenge counties, and basically the cache was like the name of the cache was like hot dog, but they used a funny letter in like a Z or something, because Z _ hot dog, because they were trying to do like give people, you ever seen those challenges where you want to get caches to start with an A through all the letters of the alphabet?
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
And so they did one like that. Well, when you get to it, it's just it's an LPC, but underneath it, the container is a hot dog. So you're like, I give it a favorite point, because like they went to the trouble to carry the theme all the way through, and the cache description talks about hot dogs and stuff. So anyway, see, talking about food again there, Tom. You're ready to go now.
I am ready. Yeah, I was looking to see if maybe I solved that one in Victoria, but I'm not sure.
I'd have to
if it had hot dog in the title, I didn't.
You did not.
If it had hot dog in the title.
Anyway, yeah, I'll look for it real quick, but we're probably getting close to the end here. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but this gives, like Tom was saying, this gives you everything from the super simple all the way to the very complex. For this, you could, and really your imagination's the limit on this. You could make it dots and dashes and make it look like Morse code. And so that makes people think something other than what it is.
Right.
Capital letters, lowercase letters, different fonts, different colors. So that, really it's, how complex do you want to make it in your mind? And I like this, Tom's got some great ideas for some of it, like what happens if you make them different colors and uppercase and lowercase mixed in, and they have to figure out which one's which. You could put, several red herrings in this, where they have multiple options and they just have to make it through all of that to get to the end. So
right. Clever. I can't find it, but Tom, once I find it, I'll send you a note. See if you've done that, or I'll look and see if you've done it. But I'm going through and checking. But oh well, we've all slipped since then. But what's interesting about those kind of is, like I said, is that they're memorable. You remember when somebody takes a theme and carries it throughout the whole, the whole cache, all the way down to the. I found a Simon one time where you had to solve Simon on the web, on a link, that we've seen those where you on a web page, and then when you get out there when it went out there, they had taken an old Simon game and they made it into the logbook. So I thought that was kind of clever too. So very simple, but again, memorable because you remember that. So very cool. All righty. Well, you boys have a good rest of the evening. You're going to, since it's early out there.
Yeah, it's
it
still
may
daylight.
be early, but I'm tired.
I bet you guys are. I mean, so what are y'all's, well, we've got a couple minutes here before we wrap up, but what are y'all's thoughts on the 20th anniversary event? Did y'all had a good time, and what are some things that you recall? That
I had a great time. I mean, well, I did what I like to do best at these big events is just go visit with people.
Absolutely. That's
right
awesome.
at the end, I came across a guy that I see every year at Geo Woodstock, but he didn't make it to Geo Woodstock this year, but he made it to the HQ. Guy from Germany, and gave me a coin that needed to go back to Texas. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it looked like it was great fun. Wish I could have made it, but I've seen some of the photos, and I don't know. Charles, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, it's crazy. Since starting this podcast, I had more people come up to me that had told me, "Hey, you're the guy from the puzzle show." A lot of the people that I have that I follow on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, were here that I hadn't seen in years. Some of them since GeoCoin Fest was up here in Seattle. Some of them I hadn't seen since the last block party in 2015. And some I see at megas fairly routinely, but running into people that you follow their adventures on social media and whatnot, the friends that you make, that you finally get to, like, I finally met Emily at this event.
Oh, that's right. Because you weren't at Cache Fest, so that's right.
Right. So I had never met Emily before. And it's funny because me and Emily were sitting there talking, and we both have one of these. Right.
Yeah.
One of these giant virtual ghosts. And so on all of our social media, we always take pictures at virtuals with our ghost icon. And so it was funny because I stopped her and I said, do you have yours? And wanted to take a picture with each of ours holding ours. And she dug through her bag. She was like, wait, it's here somewhere. And then she dug through her bag, like went through every pocket and couldn't find it. And then, was I don't know where it's at. It's got to be in the hotel. It was like she had it out the other day for a virtual. So, but it was funny. You finally got to meet Emily, and
that's awesome.
A bunch of the lackeys that we talk to normally. I got to meet JT Coffee.
Yep.
Who brought me my license plate. And then I had to tell her that somebody was still holding my license plate hostage. So maybe I'll get it back from this individual.
Is it Jesse?
It's somebody about 10 doors down from me right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still sitting in Texas, but so
That's funny.
it was the people are always if you don't do big events for the people. And to meet people and hang out and talk about just some of the most random stuff, then big events probably aren't for you. But I had a blast. I had a blast just awesome. Meeting people and talking to them and sharing adventure stories and just
that is awesome.
Catching up. It's such a good time at these events. And if you have never been to a mega event, then get out to one. I'm hopefully going to get to, one or two more this year before it's over. But it's, I really enjoy the people. Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I agree completely.
Woodstock and HQ both. I saw, same thing I've seen at all of them. There's people like me who go and just stay at the event all day long, and we're just talking to anybody who'll listen to us.
Right.
I'd talk to a fence post if I had to. But then there's also people that come and show up for a few minutes and see everything, and then they're out caching again. They'll grab some people,
they go.
and they might just have talked to somebody, and you're gonna go get that cache. We were gonna go get that too, and then off they go.
Yeah, you're right.
And then they become friends, and they're in contact with each other for forever after that.
Yeah, that's very true.
There's another guy that has a YouTube channel,
right.
And makes videos. His name's Scott, and he does the Scott and Ojai videos from Southern California. Yeah. But he flew up here and then took the public transit from the airport to his Airbnb that he was staying at. And I was like, well, we're going to go grab this cache down here at the museum and get this, the partnership attribute. And he was like, what are you talking about? And so I explained it to him how there were only like 8 or 9 caches worldwide that had this partnership attribute. And he was like,
that's true.
All right, I'm in. I'm coming. Apparently I don't have this one either. And so we went down to the Space Museum and then went to dinner after that. And so, it was a great time and stuff like that. And so it's just like Tom said, wait, you're going to do what? No, hey, I'm ready to leave too. Let's go. So
very true.
And that's where I just got back from, is doing that one at the museum down there. That hide is, the cache container, you've seen it a million times, but where it's hidden, how it's hidden, that was cool.
Yeah, it's a puzzle just to find that. You get through the adventure lab that's doing it, and it tells you, and then you walk over there and you're like,
wow. That's awesome.
Are you sure? And you take a knee and are looking under a plaque, and no, it's not over there, but you're close.
Yeah. You're close. Getting warmer. That's awesome.
Let's just say you gotta get brave at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Clever. Well, I'm glad you guys got to go, and we weren't going to keep you any longer. Go enjoy some food together and fun and fellowship, man. It's you're right. Going to megas is the thing, man. I'd go to every mega if I could. So, all right. Well, we will see everybody down the road on shows in the future, and hopefully everybody enjoyed this. If you hide, I know Charles will want to tell you this. If you hide a Bacon Cipher puzzle or puzzle cache, please send that information to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. Next, I think that's what we're going to do for next month's show. We've had a couple of people send us in.
Oh, yeah.
We've had people send us in puzzles that they've created after watching an episode and a puzzle that we had talked about, a type of puzzle or something like that. So if you have designed and hidden a puzzle based off of one of the shows that we've done because you enjoyed it, send us a GC link. We'll share that puzzle on the show next month. We've got a couple of them, but we could always use a couple more. And we love hearing from the people who listen to who are our audio listeners who listen in, and then our live viewers who tune in. So if you've done one of these, we would appreciate an email, and we're going to do a show next month our next show will be specifically on users who created a puzzle based off of stuff we did on the show.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yep. Puzzle Talk Podcast, gmail.com. Also check out Charles updates the Puzzle Talk Podcast at Instagram. So definitely check that out. And we will see everybody down the road. So good night, everybody.
Good night.